It's time for Friday with Beer, September the 3rd. Good grief, the year has gone um, tootling along. We're now into the final quarter of the year. Um, and what a year it's been. And this is traditionally the most exciting time, really, isn't it? Where we're looking at a bunch of new releases. We're gearing up for, we've just come through the blockbuster movie season. And yeah, but it's obviously for the second year running, it's not it's nowhere near as fun. Obviously, because we're in the middle of Delta, and Delta, while it is looking like it's only affecting those who don't have vaccinations, it's still having a huge knock-on effect. For me personally, obviously, I got my two vaccinations as soon as I could, and I thought, great, we'll be plowing through this. But the joys of chemotherapy mean that uh, I don't really I don't get to have my booster. So I'm now back in the immunocompromised stage of, or a section of the population, which means I'm back in lockdown. Um, I mean, it's very interesting that the Marvel movie launched yesterday in Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings, and it's the first time I've not seen a Marvel movie with it. Opening day. Whether it be at home streaming as I did with Black Widow, um, or just going to the movies, and it's going to be the case for a lot of movies. I mean, if they still make it, we know that Top Gun has moved out of this year. Top Gun 2, which is obviously more for people my age anyway, because a lot of the younger people, they will not be remembering what Tom Cruise, brought as Maverick back in the day. But yeah, I mean, another day to die, or another time to die, or whatever. The new James Bond film that's going to come out, and I'm probably not going to see that unless I can find an empty theater. Ditto Spider-Man Far From Home, or Spider-Man No Way Home. No Way Home. And Eternals, Ghostbusters, Afterlife. Maybe I'll be in the afterlife by the time that one comes out. Yeah, it's rough. Apologies for the somewhat muted energy today, and the fact that I'm sitting down. The chemo pills, I'm 2.5, almost 3 weeks into them, and hopefully they're having the good effects, but they're also having the side effects where I'm continually exhausted, very, very tired. I actually just got out of bed because I got up at 8 this morning. I was up for 2 hours, then went back to bed. And there's some other fun side effects like nausea, aches, pains, hot flashes, all that fun stuff. So yeah, my energy levels are low, despite me rocking the awesome half calf latte that my darling wife picked up for me earlier. So while I chew on some ice. So this is going to be interesting. Be interesting to try and have this dynamic, because obviously when I do my shows, I stand up and I pace, and that's how I do my best thinking. And this is definitely going to be. Hopefully, it's the exception rather than the rule. Yeah, because right now it sucks. So just anyway, how are you? I hope you're all well. I hope you're having good weeks, and I hope everything is ticking along. I hope you're avoiding the dreaded Delta, and your loved ones. Say hi if you're in the chat room. Raypad is in, Annalise in, D-Night Walker's in, Simon Sinclair. Thank you for joining, Simon Sinclair, the latest to support me on Patreon. So thank you very much, sir. Appreciate it. So what I'm going to talk about today, I mean, we will talk about the things like Ted Lasso and And in fact, let's start with Ted Lasso, because I talk about the show every week, and I've seen some controversy about this season. People are like, "Oh, it's not as funny as last season," and the only issue I've had, and I've said this before, is that the soccer side of it has taken a back seat, and they're obviously going more for the character development, which is not a bad thing, because I mean the show has to be more than just a team going up, going down, being a yo-yo club, which is what teams of that size generally are in the Premier League. They're we're talking about a team the size of, say, Swansea City, or the level of Swansea City, where they got promoted and they were there for a while, and then they got knocked down and haven't been able to get back up again to the Premier League, or a Fulham or something like that. But I got to say, Ted Lasso this season is interesting, and I've read some very interesting comments and analysis about it. And the show itself, up to that Christmas episode, was obviously building to something. You could see that it was like a Jenga tower. It was getting higher and higher, and shit was going to go south. And then we had the Christmas one, which was obviously one they filmed and put together after the show ended, because the production of season 2 ended, because Apple asked them, said, "Look, let's do 2 extra shows," and that was like the palate cleanser. That was the gap before we got into the real meat, because the 2 episodes since then have been kind of brutal. I mean, they've, especially from Ted's perspective, we know we're going to get a happy ending of some sort. We know Ted's going to bounce back, because that's the way this show is. But the depression stuff really hits home. I mean, I've said this before. I suffer from depression. I have suffered from depression for a very long time. As a lot of people do. I mean, I've had ups and downs. I have seasonal depression, which is ironically a lot of people get depressed in the winter. I actually don't. I get depressed in the summer, when there's not much rain around and it's dark. It's not as dark and it's hot and uncomfortable. I miss the cold. I miss the rain, and I'm living in Los Angeles. Go figure. But it's interesting, you get by yourself. Like, you build up this wall and this facade. And when I was in PR, I had this facade, and it was like, oh, let's go to the pub, let's do this, let's do that. And on occasion, I would snap, and the angry me would get out. And it was one of the reasons I got out of PR. One of the numerous reasons I got out of PR. And I think Annoyed Gamer, back in the early part of this last decade, helped me get through. Help me, sort of like get through and get a lot of stuff out and venting, and hopefully not in a mean way, but just not having to pretend that everything is all happy, warm, and fuzzy in the gaming space, because I'd seen so much going on over the previous years in my career. So yeah, we don't know where it's going to go. I mean, Ray has just chimed in with Jason Sudeikis has said that this is the Empire Strikes Back of Ted Lasso, and it wouldn't surprise me if Ted quits at the end of the season after they win the FA Cup or something. But I just can relate. I mean, if you haven't seen the most recent episode, I won't go into it too in depth. But if you saw last week's episode where he had his panic attack, second time he's had a panic attack, and he ended up in the psychiatrist's office, and it's obvious that was what was coming. The guy has to be, several thousand miles away from his family, gone through a painful divorce. Watching his son open Christmas gifts over Zoom, because the nature of the job in the UK is that, if you're involved in football, there's a game on Boxing Day, December 26th. It does hit home. And today's episode, because I mean, it went up at I think 9:00 last night, and me and the missus watched it. It was another dark one, and it talks about relationships, and it talks about, how people really can get too close, get a little bit clingy, and how some people just shut down and don't know how to deal with that stuff. And you can see how certain characters are heading for either a fall of biblical proportions or going to need this mega redemption. Nate in particular is turning into a little monster because of his own parental approval issues. But the show has evolved beyond more of a. Last year, it was what we needed. It was quirky and it was fun and it was positive, and everybody needed something like that with all the shit that was going on with the pandemic and the justifiable protests for Black Lives Matter and against police brutality and the issues that we had with the right-wing populist governments around the world and the way they were mishandling things, in my opinion. And so this was a great counterbalance to a lot of people. And for me, it also served to, take care of the homesickness that I do get from time to time. Thankfully, I'd only been home 6 months beforehand, back in February of last year. So it was nice in that way to sort of like have my little bit of Britain, even if it was from an American perspective. But this year they're really digging into characters. We're learning a lot more. I mean, Roy Kent has come to the forefront, and I think Brett Goldstein has just been fantastic. And no, I don't think he's CGI, by the way, as some bellend started putting up on Reddit this week, that he is just a CGI creation. And Brett Goldstein, if you follow him on Instagram, his response to that particular controversy was quite amusing. But yeah, I gotta say, this is the darkest before the dawn bit, and I'm digging it in a lot of ways because I'm going through my own shit right now, and we're all still going through our own shit. I mean, we're all masked up still. We all, have to be away from people we love and friends, and I still miss hugs. And yeah, the show's evolved, and a lot of people are like, "Oh, it's not funny," and it's like, you know what? Sometimes these things aren't funny, and that's what makes them better. So if you haven't seen Ted Lasso season 2 yet, you should watch it. People are talking about the episodic nature this time around because a lot of people came late to the party and were binging it, so they kind of missed out on a lot of the nuances because they were just going boom to boom to boom to boom. Whereas I was watching it every week along with a lot of people. So yeah, I'm really interested to see where it goes, and hopefully I'll be around for season 3 because that's their arc. 3 seasons and done. It's a very British way of looking at things with regards to how the TV shows work. 12 episodes is a full season. I mean, most shows maybe get 10 and they'll go for a couple of seasons and they'll be done, and that'll be his arc. So yeah, let's see how that one goes. I'm still saying, look, I'm not saying that it's not funny. I'm saying that there are some amazingly funny bits, but they are equaled out by the touching bits and the bits of the very sensitive handling of relationship issues. And this is speaking as somebody who's spent the last 18 months locked down with his wife, and thank God I'm locked down with her, because anybody else, I think I would have it would have been the swift end of any relationship. And it does really go to show that if you can manage 18 months lockdown with somebody 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, you're in a good space. But it works for us anyway. I'm not going to judge anybody else. And it still has some humdingers. And like I said, that Christmas episode, it made me cry. It really did make me cry. It was schmaltzy and it was goofy and it was great because it just felt good to me. So yeah, so that's where I stand on Ted Lasso. I'm really enjoying the journey, and I think it's something that the show needed to grow and go in a different direction. It certainly has, and it's still got some funny bits. But yes, I'm seeing some of the shit that's going on with the bullying and see how that pans out. And I got faith in this writing team. So yeah, that's where I stand. I would say so. Emilio Asis asks, should I give new episodes room to breathe? I wouldn't binge it. I would definitely, maybe you do 2 at a time. If you haven't started watching it yet, I think we're on episode 8 now. I would definitely maybe watch them 2 at a time, because you do pick up on a lot more, but you also get a chance to sit and think and digest. That's the thing, digesting it. When you binge something, and I'm guilty of this, when the Marvel stuff was on Netflix, we had Defenders and Daredevil and Luke Cage. I binged them, and it got really old. Especially, I got fatigue around episode 6 of every single season of those shows. I think with Ted Lasso season 2, it's certainly more. It's so much heavier than the first time round in a lot of ways that binging it might be a little too much. And I'd say, yeah, 2 episodes. Give it 2 episodes. Take a breather. Inhale. Enjoy the flowers. Digest. And I mean, look, we're not talking about the works of Walt Whitman or anything like that. But we are talking about something that's a very, very smart and often very, very funny show that has just developed into some characters who you'd want to hang out with. You really would. So, yeah. Jed has thought the T-shirt, and I will do the stand just for a minute. So, that was a birthday present because this is the year of my birth, 1970. My darling wife got it to me, got it for me on my 50th. So, sorry, ice is good. I'm keeping myself hydrated. Why am I always drinking when I Jedi start? Because drinking is good. If it's around that time frame of the day and you've had a busy week at work or at college or whatever it is you're doing, just with the family, have a snifter of something and just don't overdo it. I mean, it's quite ridiculous to say, but I'm barely drinking nowadays. It's not. I'm actually allowed to have a couple of drinks, and we've had some friends over for some very socially distanced outdoor backyard gatherings. But have a glass of wine and I'm done, which is pathetic considering some of my consumption last year. Although I'm sure my liver is actually kind of loving the break, and this holiday season, I'm sure be paralytic after one snifter of scotch, I'm guessing. But yeah, have some drink, have some smoke, whatever you got, as long as it's legal. Just enjoy it. Life is too short, my friends. Life is way too short. And that's the other thing I'm trying to combat is obviously, and I don't want to be a permanent downer on this, but I've been thinking about mortality a lot recently. No surprise there. I wonder what got me thinking about that. And it's funny. I just sat there the other day and Sean asked me what I was doing. And I was just looking at the liquor cabinet. I was looking at all these amazing scotches that I've accrued over the years. And I'm like, oh, I'm going to save this to drink. This one with Michael Pachter. This one with so-and-so, so-and-so. Oh, so-and-so did appreciate that with me. And they're all still sitting there. Some of them unopened. And we have wines that we bought on our honeymoon when we went to France. And we were like, oh, well, we'll save that for our 10th wedding anniversary, which is a year December. And now you start to reevaluate and you think, should I? I mean, should I save these things? You can't take them with you. Sean is not going to drink them. And I started looking at all my crap, all my stuff. I say crap, and I mean that in a loving way. I've got all this stuff that I don't know what I'm going to do with. Do I donate it? Do I sell it? Do I auction it off? Do I leave it so that my poor wife at some point will have to bury me or cremate me and then come back and deal with this? It's sorry, I mean, really quite dark turn to the show, but I'm just stream of consciousness. This is what I do. I open my mouth and words come out. Ray, I know you're being perky today, mate. I look forward to seeing you if I can from a distance. And look, I'll probably be in a better mood next week, and I'll tell you why. Tomorrow I'm going for bone scans to see how far the cancer spread into my pelvis, and a couple of CT scans to see if the treatment has started to work on the tumors. And then I'll have those results next Wednesday when I go back to the oncologist, where we do the blood tests to see if the PSA levels have gone down because of the chemotherapy, the chemo pills. And I've got a little friend here. Come here, bud. who just got groomed this morning. Oh, you want to sit? You want to sit on the table? All right. What's going on, Spike? The wife is out today. And so we have Spike, who just got groomed. It's okay. Can you look? Say hi. Yeah. Good boy. It's okay. Down you go. All right, lie down. He's laying on my Doctor Who TARDIS blanket that I got a couple of years ago. Yeah. So anyway, all right. Come on, Bear. Pucker up. Let's do this. What am I going to talk about this week? Well, obviously, we talked about Ted Lasso. I talked about my ongoing medical issues, which is like, What If this week? The Disney What If dropped on Wednesday, and it was Doctor Strange. And I got to say, it's probably my favorite one so far, because it was the first What If that was an all-encompassing episode. It had a start, it had a middle, it had an end. And it tackled a really dark path that Stephen Strange goes down, showing that what would have happened instead of him losing his hands if he lost the love, instead he lost the love of his life. And I'm not going to spoil it for you, but I'm just going to say it's the best What If because it doesn't leave you asking, what if this had been a longer show? What if this had been 45 minutes or 90 minutes or 2 hours, much, like the previous, the shows. The one the week before was What If the Avengers Had All Died? That was a great episode. And I think they're progressively getting better. But that one was also, what if they'd have carried on and we'd actually seen some new Avengers going, as opposed to the more nebulous ones. What is it, Spike? What do you need? Can you show me? Can you go? Well, this is embarrassing. My dog needs to go to the bathroom, and my wife is actually at a business meeting, a socially distanced one. So I will be right back. I'll probably be about 2 to 3 minutes while I take my dog to the bathroom. Come on, buddy, let's go. Say, hello, everybody. I'm going to the bathroom. Come on. You're okay. Twice. Come on, and I'm back, and he is well relieved. I'm so glad I caught it when it did, because that might have been a mess. Yes, he's too little to use the bathroom. Bless him. All right, let's have a look. Let's have a look at some of the questions. In fact, let's see who's going on. Who's got all right, let's see. Okay, here's a good question. Do you ever think about moving back to UK and getting on the NHS, even with insurance? I imagine the bills. No. I will say insurance is obviously, it's a necessary evil over here. I'm not a big fan of it, but I am in the best place. I mean, I think short of being somewhere like, Switzerland, where they have all these amazing clinics, or on the East Coast in New York, where they have these amazing hospitals and doctors, LA has some of the finest doctors in the world. And my oncologist, I am very lucky. I got in to see him because I got a referral, and he agreed to see me. And he is an amazing doctor who has done a lot of pioneering work. He solely focuses on prostate cancer. I mean, he's literally, he's the Jurgen Klopp of doctors, as far as I'm concerned, because I can't say Pep Guardiola. But he does have some. He has the level of funding from donors that would make even Pep blush. So yeah, I'm very lucky. I am where I am. That means I got in immediately. I didn't have to wait. I don't have to wait for scans. I don't have to wait for the medication. And if he wants to get me on a new medication, it's sorted. Fiscally, is it the best? No, it's not, because yeah, my biggest worry in this life is, well, I've got two worries. First one is, how long am I going to live? And the second one is, after I'm gone, am I going to leave my wife with a buttload of medical debt? Which, unfortunately, due to, the nature of the medical, the medical system in this country, it's, she'd have to deal with that. And so that's one of the reasons I'm thinking maybe I need to start auctioning off all my shit, so that all she needs to deal with is a nice check and some little keepsakes when this finally takes me, which could be a year, it could be 2. Best case scenario right now, I could get 5 years, but we'll know more in a couple of days. So yes, I'm in the best place possible. I have a cardiologist who's fantastic, become a family friend, as I'm sure I've shared before. The network of doctors that we have here are amazing, and the hospitals. So yes, I am definitely in the best possible place. Let's see. Series S, is that the old one or the new one? Simon Sinclair. I mean, look, I don't even have. Look, I've said this before. I don't have any of the new gen consoles, and the Xbox One in particular. Why couldn't they just call it the Xbox 720 or the Xbox 2 or whatever? Just stop with the confusing fucking naming systems. At least with the PlayStation 5, it's like, I can't get a PlayStation 5, so this is what I'm doing. But yeah, if you've got the new Xbox, you'll enjoy it. Absolutely enjoy it. I mean, get Game Pass, and that's it. I mean, geez, you're set. All those games to play. It's amazing. It's so much fun. I mean, my Xbox Games Pass for PC expires in a week, next week, in fact, and that's going to be that's going to be something I'm going to renew, because when I'm not sleeping and I'm not trying to eat better and trying to get some exercise in to keep the body going, the PC is one of the things that's keeping me going. I'm playing just the games that are available. So there you go. It's the next gen. You know what? I think you'll be in a great space. I think you're going to enjoy it. I think you can have access to all these fun games, and that's what that's one of the things I wanted to talk about, actually, is this whole conversation that's sprouted up this week. Because people I've seen people on Twitter, and yes, I do venture onto Twitter. I don't post as much. I literally look to see when I last tweeted at anything, and it was last week, to say, "Oh, I'm going to go live in a few minutes." So yes, I've been quiet on social media this week. And Panda's here. Come on, Panda. There's been an outcry this week. A lot of people are saying outcry. Maybe it's something just because I've seen, because the people I follow on Twitter. People have been saying, well, Horizon. What is it? Horizon Forbidden West. If you buy the PS4 version, and then you get because you got a PS4, and then you buy a PS5, you'll have to buy a new version. That's the understanding I'm seeing right now. Because obviously some companies are saying, we're up-resing you for the for the whole for the new version. You've already bought it once. You can get this up-res version, and people are warm and happy. And I think that's the way it should be. But not so much Sony. Apparently, this, I mean, it's tricky to try and figure out what's what, because there are 372 editions of Horizon Forbidden West. Obviously, I'm making that up. It's 9 editions, and I have no frigging clue why we have 9. But yes, they're basically charging. You're gonna have to rebuy it. And so now people are saying, well, why are people even bothering? Why is Sony bothering with the last gen? Why can't we just focus on PS5? And I'll tell you why. Because of the global chip shortage that's been going on now, and the pandemic and everything combining, a lot of people still don't have PS5s. If you've got a PS5, I am so happy for you. I know Sublevel 28 just got a PS5 a couple of days ago, and I'm so happy for her. I know a lot of people who have been, still trying to get one. And it's great that they get to do that and play these games and have that. But simply because you've got one doesn't mean that everybody else has had access to them. It's not like they are in supply where you can walk in and pick one up off a shelf in many places. You can't go on Amazon and find one without finding a $1,200 bundle by some price gouging motherfucker. So this is the problem. Until they are widely and easily available, then you start that forced migration. And it's called forced migration because you stop making PS4 games so that people migrate to the PS5. But Sony can't make enough of them because of the chip shortage and the pandemic to get them into hands and get them into people's hands and into houses. And so there are a lot of people still relying on their PS4s. It's basically let them eat cake syndrome from these people who are suggesting that Sony turn around and drop the PS4. It's like, well, I've got a PS5, so I'm okay, and fuck you guys. You shouldn't have any new games at all. And normally, if you think about it, we, in every other console cycle, when we've had new consoles come out, it's always been a year, 18 months before the software for the old consoles has dried up. And now we're not even at a year, and people are demanding that Sony focus only on the PS5 versions of stuff. And it's quite ridiculous, to be honest with you. It's really fucking entitled, to be honest with you. And look, it's a small, very vocal subset, as is always the case with these things. But they should just shut the fuck up and be happy with what they've got. If they have a PS4, and they're buying a certain amount of games from certain publishers, they can look forward to upgrading and getting to a PS5. If they have a PS5, just enjoy what you've got. There's no need to try and stop other people from having enjoyment because you've got your console, and fuck them. Really fucking selfish, to be honest with you. So yes, that's my thoughts on that. I just think that everybody needs to wind their necks in from that particular camp and be appreciative of the fact that they've got a PS5. Enjoy the games that they can. And yeah, all right, be judicious. If you don't have a PS5 right now and you don't think you're going to get one for 18 months, or, if you're not going to get one for 6 months, well, guess what? Forbidden West comes out in about 5 to 6 months. Get it there, get that version then. Don't pre-order it. Just get the PS5 version. Get it as one of your first new games. There will probably be bundles a go-go by then. In other words, just shut the fuck up and stop complaining and just be happy that you've got this. Because they're also saying like, oh, well, why are people diverting these resources? Screw off. These companies know exactly what they're doing. And thankfully, a lot of them are doing things like supplying the up-reses for free, or the upgraded versions for free, which is great. Not all of them are. Some of them are double, triple, and quadruple dipping. Hey, I think one of the bigger issues we have is that Sony, you show this thing where Sony has to sell all these different versions of this one particular game, and they will recharge you for an additional version down the line. Sony has a software problem, a software delivery problem, because like Microsoft or not, they really have changed the game with the Game Pass. And they've the strength of it and everything they've been accruing and everything they've been stockpiling away, and it's starting to hit. We know that Starfield is going to be day one on Games Pass. And we know that there are a lot of games coming now that will be cross-platforms, but will also be on Games Pass day one, so you don't have to shell out 60 or 70 bucks a pop. And I've said this before, I'm a big fan of Games Pass. I'm worried about Sony. I'm worried about Sony because they can't get the game systems out there because of numerous reasons, not all of them their own. And then they have this software issue where there's not a huge amount of software for it. I mean, obviously, we have this issue normally in the first year of a cycle release, first couple of months, then it starts to pick up. But people are still seeing that the numbers, perhaps for the PS5, are not where they need to be to justify PS5 only releases. So, yeah, I mean, what do you think about Sony? I mean, yeah. So if you have a PS5, how do you feel about the level of software? I mean, I don't have a PS5. I don't. I'm perfectly happy with my Games Pass and the games it's delivered to me so far. Oh, and here we go again. RP Genius and Raypad are having their own conversation offline, or offline in the chat room. I mean, it's the greatest bromance you could ever imagine. It's like Roy Kent and Jamie Tart. It's become this incredible bromance, and I love that it's happening. But you know what? Just stick to have your conversations on the back channels, all right? Not in my chat room. Yeah, so let me know your thoughts if you are playing. I mean, if you have to pay $60-70 for a PS4 or 5 game, I really do think anybody who's buying a new console right now gets an Xbox. That's it. Xbox and Games Pass, and then you can just pick and choose. And you know what? Let's go on. Let's go and have another conversation about that. Let's talk about tangents. You know me, I like my tangents, and this is good. Talking to you guys, pep me up a little. Let's talk about the Avengers game, Square Enix, because they are about to drop the Spider-Man character, which is dun 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 Sony exclusive, and that's pissing off a lot of people. Understandably so, because Sony maybe apparently Sony have about 60% of the market share on Avengers on a game that's not really sold a huge amount of units based on what I've read. I haven't gone neck deep. I've just read it on a couple of different sites. And basically, and look, I have my problems with the Avengers game. I've said it before over and over. I still have my problems with it, but they've been delivering free content every 4 months or so. They were a little late to the party, but they've certainly, started delivering. We've had the Hawkeye stuff. We've had Wakanda not long dropped. I mean, they really have added more and more stuff to make it a really, you can get it on sale for a crazy price now, maybe $20. And that's maybe 20 hours of gameplay. Avoid the multiplayer and the gouging with regards to all the different microtransactions and all the different uniforms you have to buy, half of which are ugly as fuck anyway and have no charm. I am just curious why we have Spider-Man only on the PlayStation. Now, a lot of you will say, well, Spider-Man is licensed to Sony Computer Entertainment for their game. Miles Morales, Peter Parker, that's Spider-Verse. They have the movie and the movie rights, and they have the game rights, apparently. But if memory serves, Ultimate Alliance 3, which was on the Switch, had all the spiders in them. So is it a case of Sony just wanting to keep Spider-Man off PC and Xbox? And what are you going to do for the PC and Xbox gamers? I mean, wait to turn people off where you've got, if they're going to announce a new character that is exclusive for PC and Xbox, well, that'll balance it out. I can't see them doing it because fiscally, I don't think it's going to make any sense. But perhaps they will. Perhaps they'll say, oh, well, here we go. You've got Spider-Man. And on this side, we're dropping Doctor Strange. And on the PC, on Doctor Strange or whoever. A couple of cool characters. Captain Marvel. Boom. Not Miss Marvel, obviously, who was the breakout star of the original game. But yeah, maybe Carol Danvers turns up. That would put a cat amongst the pigeons, because then there's not one version of the game that actually has a complete roster. And I don't like those sort of things anyway. I can understand why they happen for business reasons. I mean, it's the pre-order bonuses of years ago where when I was working in PR, we'd sit down and we'd talk with Dev because, oh, Best Buy want this, Target want this particular skin, Walmart want a steel book, so-and-so wants a T-shirt. And how much budget goes to this, that, and the other? What can the devs provide? Is there an exclusive gun we can throw their way? And it always was a pain in the ass. A pain in the ass when I worked at the publishers, but also a pain in the ass for the gamer because you never get a complete version on any system. You know, if you buy the Target version, then you'd have to buy the Walmart version on top of that, and then the Best Buy version and the Amazon exclusive. And then, God forbid, that there was a PlayStation and an Xbox and Nintendo specific SKUs. And I fucking hate it. I really do. I think everybody should have access to the same stuff. And I understand it's like Sony wants to sell more PS5s, but Sony can't make enough PS5s to satisfy everybody. So maybe they should wind their necks in right now. And maybe they should just not be so precious. And I know I'm saying this from the comfort of my own little man cave / office, where Sony are, a big mega corporation. And look, I think I've got a pissed off thing with Sony in general right now, not only because of the mismanagement of getting the PS5s out to people, and like I said, not all of their own making chip shortages and the pandemic, but also the standard Japanese business practice of under deliver, over promise, create the demand and create the excitement, and then everybody has to fend for them fucking selves, which is what Nintendo does every year. Nintendo and Sony, and it's every time, and it's just a little bit much in my opinion, but it's been a standard business practice for a very long time and needs to end in my opinion. There's this obviously Spider-Man exclusive thing, and then just tapped in, and this has been brought home, and I touched on this at the top of the show, that with regards to Sony Pictures, if you look at the a lot of the publishing, the movie companies, Warner Brothers, NBC, Disney, they have their own streaming arms. They have Disney Plus, Hulu, they have Peacock, they have Paramount Plus. They have ways and means to put stuff out there from that when it breaks in the theaters, it can break on streaming. The only company of any note that doesn't have that is fucking Sony. And that's what I'm going to call them from now on, fucking Sony. Because thanks to fucking Sony, I won't be in on this whole, it has to be in theaters. I probably won't see Spider-Man for about 3 months. And it's like, oh, boo-hoo, I won't see the new Bond film. There's a lot of stuff. Columbia, I think, is owned by Sony, which takes Ghostbusters out of the equation. And because Sony decided, oh, you know what we're going to do with our streaming stuff? We're going to make Crackle. Big fucking success there, boys and girls. And because Sony don't know their ass from their elbow, it means a lot of people like me who have put a lot of money into their pockets over the years are on the outs, because again, we have Delta and I can't get a booster shot because I'm now immunocompromised, because I'm on chemotherapy because I have fucking prostate cancer. And time's not on my side. There are things there's things that I would love to do. And one of the things I love to do the most is go to a movie theater or watch a new movie or watch a piece of new pop culture art, because that to me just brings me so much joy. And Disney haven't put Shang-Chi on Disney Plus, or otherwise we'd drop the $30, so they can fuck off of that one. I'm not happy about that too. But yes, Sony right now is just ticking every single box. Oh, they pushed Venom back. Although if Let There Be Carnage is half as half as bad as the first Venom movie, it'll still be a bag of shit. Did very well. I know it was like, hey, made $1 billion in the box office. Yeah, well, a lot of movies make $1 billion in the box office. Doesn't mean that they're not fucking turds. Tom Hardy, and great cast, but what a fucking horrible movie. Yeah, so I'm pissed off at Sony. No Time to Die is Universal. No Time to Die is Sony. No Time to Die is, let's see. Yeah, it's let me see. Oh, it is. It's Universal in the in Europe. I'm talking about the US. It's United Artists, which is a Sony company, I believe. But I mean, yeah, I mean, production companies. MGM is Amazon now, isn't it? Wasn't that sold off? Maybe I'm getting it all wrong. Maybe I'm confusing them with Columbia. But anyway, there's no plans for anybody to stream the fucking thing. So there you go. And I'll have to stay off the internet because, I mean, anytime I see anything about Shang-Chi, I just shut it down. Free Guy came out a couple of weeks ago, something I really wanted to see, looked right up my alley. Haven't seen it, stayed off everything because, maybe in about 3 weeks I can rent it. And fingers crossed, it'll be good. But anyway, I'm just, having a bitch and a moan. But yeah, I really don't fancy going to a movie theater because, again, I know that if I'm told to put my mask on, keep my mask on, I will. And if I'm told to stay in a seating block, I will. But unfortunately, I live in a country where 40% of the population are fucking morons who are like, it's my right to take my fucking mask off and go, I'm in the movies now, mama. Like the fucking obnoxious, obsequious, neck-bearded mouth breathers that they are. I'm stuck here. And look, 60% of Americans are fucking amazing. Wonderful, kindest, most generous people you could ever wish to meet. They want this country to get back on its feet. They want COVID to go away. They don't want to put up with the bullshit that's going on, like in Texas right now. They are worried for climate change and what's happening on the East Coast with all the Hurricane Ida and everything else, and all those people who've lost their lives, and the flooding in New York, and there's a fucking tornado in New Jersey, for God's sake, and climate change. But there's 40% of the population of this country who are absolute fucking morons, and they are everywhere. They're not just in Texas, Alabama, Arkansas, Mississippi, Missouri, Louisiana, South Carolina, Dakotas. A lot of them are, most of them are, but not all of them. There are those morons here. And here on the West Coast, it's the biggest scumbags of all because they're the ones who all thought, well, my crystals will protect me, or I'm an acupuncturist, or I do chiropractic, and I believe that my chi is focused and it will beat COVID, and I will not, I'm healthy and I will not catch it. And you may catch it and you may pass it on to somebody else. Oh, that's their problem then, because I don't want to wear a mask or get a vaccine, because the vaccine, all it does is give me 5G. These are the people we need to be round up. Just give them a state, a landlocked state, but build a big fucking wall around it and dump all these people in there. Them, the flat earthers, the religious nut jobs of every single persuasion, take away all their guns, make sure they've got food, make sure they've got water, make sure they've got electricity, no fossil fuels, and then just let them tough it out. Let them tough it out. All of a sudden, my phone is just going absolutely fucking bananas. So yeah, sorry about that. Yes, the horse dewormer. The horse dewormer thing. Joe Rogan has COVID, and that man's a douchebag of the biggest order. He's a roided out fuckwit. He always has been. He's not funny. He's not clever. And in fact, I mean, Spotify should just pull the fucking plug on that man. And I'm glad he's got fucking COVID. I'm glad half these people have got COVID. I feel sorry for the collateral damage. I really do feel sorry for those people who don't deserve it, who can't have access to vaccines. But they're the ones we're supposed to protect. They're the ones I got my vaccines so I could protect them. They wouldn't have to get the vaccine because it would die out. But then there's the ones who refuse to wear masks and refuse to take the vaccines. Those are the ones who are endangering us. It's like Mother Nature's determined to cull a third of the population, and unfortunately there's too many other people getting caught up in this. I wish COVID would do its job and fucking Thanos it. I really do. I could just think of so many people like that. Joe's COVID free now. Well, there you go. There's depressing news. Because I hope he gets some fucking serious after effects. I hope he's sterile. I hope his dick falls off. I hope he gets fucking immunocompromised and his fucking herpes flare up. Fuck Joe Rogan. Fuck him. Fuck his supporters. Fuck them all. Because he's a piece of shit. And pieces of shit are the only things that seem to survive. Pieces of shit like him get successful by being pieces of shit. And look, and while I'm not perfect, I've got fucking prostate cancer. So you can imagine how fucking happy I am when I see him and I see these fucking Rand Paul motherfuckers and I see all these dipshits who, Tucker Carlson, who has to follow COVID protocols when he does his show and has been vaccinated, is telling people not to get vaccinated. You want proof that there's no fucking God? Fox News. There's your fucking proof. Anyway. Ooh. Hitler's already here. His name's Donald Trump, and he lives in Florida. And he's got Josh Hawley and all these other Marjorie Taylor Fuckslug. That's a new name. And all these other fucking idiots marching to his fucking drumbeat and killing people. The shit that the fucking Handmaid's Tale shit that's happened in Texas this week with the abortion thing. Biden needs to fucking fight fire with fire. I am not advocating for anybody to be wiped out because of their religion, their sexuality, their gender. I'm not talking about denying anybody anything based on any of those caveats. I am talking about the decent people governing and taking charge and doing what's best for everybody. Yeah, we're all not going to be, none of us are going to be happy 100% of the time. But for fuck's sake, Joe Biden needs to pack the Supreme Court because of the bullshit illegal shit that Mitch McConnell and those fuckers did by getting in bought and paid for justices. Anyway. Oh, sorry about that. Let Texas secede? No. Well, there's so many good people in Texas. Just basically redistrict everything to give it a much fairer balance of voting, and then all the ones who, if the amount of Democratic voters outweighs the amount of Republican and extremist Republican supporters all across this country, and it's because of gerrymandering that we have this problem. It's the same thing in the fucking UK. The likes of Wales and Scotland and Northern Ireland, well, Northern Ireland vote for their own fucking bunch of bizarros, but Scotland and Wales aren't the ones who vote for the Conservatives. The Conservatives are in power because of England and how shit is stacked in their favor. Anyway. And now I'm having another fucking hot flash. If you ever talk to a woman about menopause, I can actually relate, because this is one of the side effects of all of the treatments is the menopause. And I probably said that before, and I don't care because I can't remember. I don't remember shit. All right. Sorry about that. Not really. I just, old man. I'm 50 and I'm dying. I've got fuck all else to lose. Really don't have anything to lose. Sorry. Yes, Celeste, King Ding II with the wonderful quote, nothing to lighten the mood like politics. Oh. So, let's talk about cheerful stuff. Give me something cheerful to talk about. Let me go on, hit me with some questions. There's a non-political. Talk to me about games. Talk to me about movies. Jed's thought, I know, I'm so ashamed of the people in Wales who voted for Brexit. I am so ashamed of them. I've said this before. This is what happens when stupid people are allowed to be stupid, because that's the plan. Keep people stupid, keep people happy and stupid and angry at something else. They can blame somebody else. They can't fix the problem for you, but they can tell you who else they can blame for it. That's the problem. Dead Space remake. Psychonauts 2. Thank you, Adam and Steve. Dead Space remake. I'm down with it. Dead Space was supposed to be a great game. I never played it. I will happily play the remake if I'm around. Yes, I would definitely vote for Breakfast 2. RP Genius. Psychonauts 2. I have it installed. I started playing it. I like it. I really do. I came late to the Psychonauts table. I only started playing Psychonauts 1 not so long ago on Games Pass. And it's like, woo, floop-de-doo. And Psychonauts 2, I mean, it's good that I've went from 1 to 2 pretty quickly, because even though they give you the training, the catch up, but it was fresh enough in my mind to remember, a lot of what was done. So I'm enjoying Psychonauts 2. I am. I'm taking it a slow roll and playing some other stuff. But yes, I am playing Psychonauts 2 and I like it. Let's see. Safety is off. Best English food in LA. Well, I'm guessing you mean British food. And that would be at my house. I make the best fucking breakfast. Full-on British breakfast with the eggs. I mean, providing I got the supply in. Back bacon, bangers, black pudding, baked beans, Heinz, of course. Mushrooms, toast, PG tips, nice cup of milky tea. Christmas is the best time around here, though. Christmas is when I really come into my own. My wife Shauna does Thanksgiving, and I do the Christmas dinner, and I do the full-on prawn cocktail, and I do turkey with all the trimmings, sausage meat stuffing, everything else. And then we do the Christmas pudding with the brandy butter. My wife actually makes a Christmas cake for me. That's how amazing she is. She makes an amazing gluten-free Christmas cake. So we do full British Christmas dinner. So yes, there you go. Why are beans a part of a full English? It's just they are. Ray, you don't understand it. You never will. You're a Man City supporter. It's just, unfortunately, not in your DNA. Have I seen the Bob Odenkirk movie, Nobody? Yes, I have. Oh, it's fucking awesome. It's so good. And watch the new Jason Statham, Guy Ritchie one as well. That's also friggin' awesome. I rented those out. They were really good. Let me see. Jedi's Thor. Here's one. Knowing it would be a one-way trip, would I volunteer to colonize Mars? Fuck no. But volunteer. You know what? I could volunteer a lot of people to go to Mars, because apparently they said it would like it's definitely a one-way trip, and that you've only got 3 years as a human before it would kill you. So I could think of, say, maybe 3 billion people. No, 2 billion people. I could ship right off. American chocolate. It tastes like fucking earwax. What is American chocolate like? Look at this. I've heard this watered down shit. It's not even watered down shit. It's fucking earwax. Avoid Hershey's. There's a reason that the phrase Hershey Highway is a nickname for one's asshole after they've had a crap, because Hershey chocolate is pretty much the same. So avoid Hershey's chocolate. There are some good high-end chocolates here, but let's face it, too many chemicals. Yes, you've got to have black pudding. Best part of breakfast. Good call, Adam. Yes. Now this is interesting. This is a common misconception. When you come to America, you think you see baked beans on a menu or beans on a menu. They could be black beans. They could be refried beans if they are in Mexican or Tex-Mex restaurants. But for baked beans, American baked beans, fucking disgusting. They really are. They're just gross. You've got to insist on the Heinz ones. You may have to turn up and get your own tin. I mean, I have a supply. I have my Heinz baked beans. I also have my curried baked beans. My Heinz curried ones. They're good. Jedis thought, yes, I can actually do, and I do get, it's called Irish back bacon. You get it from Whole Foods over here, and it's the healthiest version I'm ever going to get, and closest I'm going to get to full-on rashers, because a lot of the places that sell the rashers, they're just watered down and not very good quality. So yes, yeah. Bangers as well, a little bit tougher to get hold of because not many butchers make them, but I try. No, it has to be fried. You'd lightly fry that black pudding, preferably in the same fat that you cook the sausages and bacon in. All right. British food. Yes, sorry. King's Head restaurant. King's Head, I haven't been, it's been a while. I would say it's probably been about 4 or 5 years. It used to be a great place to go for. I mean, that's why I did the first several episodes of Annoying Gamer before we ran out of budget. It's like, oh, we'll do it at the King's Head. And Marcus, what are you having? Well, I'm going to have breakfast and a pint when I do it. Oh, and then standards and practices said, you can't be drinking on the show. Why? Because I'm a grown man. Oh, well, you can't be doing that. And oh, we have to do this internally now because you're spending too much money on full English. Oh, full British. So yes, their food, the breakfasts were the best thing. Chicken curry half and half was another good one, but I haven't been a long time. But their shop is good. Their shop is something that they carry a lot of good stuff. But since the pandemic, I haven't been able to go. They do have a bakery in the back now, and they make pasties and pies and stuff. So I might have to figure out a way to mask up and venture over there because all of a sudden I'm craving a couple of Cornish pasties, chicken and mushroom pie, cheese and onion pasties, also my favorite. Sausage rolls, maybe stock up and see what I can freeze. But yeah, the shop, I actually get a lot of my stuff from BritishCornerShop.com, which is a great little site. They're based out of Bristol in the UK, and they send their stuff 2-day delivery and whatever I can get. That's all. I mean, my next stock up will probably be in about 4 weeks. To get all my Christmas stuff in, like my roses, my Quality Street, because I'm going to have a banging Christmas this year. I'm going to have all my treats, and I'm going to have my matchmakers. I'm going to have my my selection box because I am a 5-year-old at the end of the day. Let's see, Wrath of Man. That's the movie, Wrath of Man. Okay, how expensive is hard is it to hire? Well, it's not. It's a couple of grand if people want to have somebody run your social media account. I'm not sure where this one came from, D Night Walker, and if I missed something beforehand, but I know this because my wife she runs a boutique marketing and PR agency, and this is what she did in the past. So yeah, I mean, a couple of grand. Most people run the social media accounts. It's not cheap, but yeah. Random question. I hope I give you a honest answer. Yes. She tastes like old Easter eggs. Good one. Let's see. Well, look, I mean, Sunday roasts are not something you have here as much. I mean, the Americans tend to go out for Sunday lunch, or they used to. So, yeah, we do it. We have a Sunday lunch every now and again, but yeah, it's something that's kind of dropped off the radar since I moved to this country. Speaking of another gamer, things to be maybe someday when there is no more pandemic and if I'm still around. I have been talking with Shane, who I may be doing something with him on Game Face when he comes back from his vacation. So yes. What flavor matchmakers? Okay, well, there's 2. Orange, obvs, but I do like the mint ones. But then the mint ones, if I can only have one choice on the matchmakers, and I can still get after 8s, I go for the orange and then the after 8s, because after 8s, obviously as well, need to be done. No, it's British Corner Shop, SHOP. Let's see. I love talking about food and Christmas with you guys. Turkey on Christmas Day or something else. We started off goose or a 3-bird roast. We're turkey. We did turducken one year. That was interesting. But yeah, we do the full turkey. I'll pack the stuffing in, the sausage meat I make by hand. The one thing I've become so good at is roast potatoes, any of the roast vegetables, potatoes, parsnips, carrots. I have spent the last year perfecting them. I make a beautiful batch of air fried chips now. I really do, and my roast potatoes are so light and fluffy on the inside, and they got this hard, crispy, hard shell on the outside, and seasoned just lightly. Sometimes with a bit of butter, sometimes with truffle butter. I'm good at potatoes. I'm the king of potatoes in my house. Yes, I did see that to Wrexham AFC, and this was after the Ryan Reynolds and Rob, what's his face, got a pseudo call out on Ted Lasso for buying Wrexham. I think it was a couple of episodes ago, and Ryan Reynolds was demanding that he wants he needs to be paid in biscuits, and so they've sent them the biscuits. So I think that's really cool. I've never had Yorkshire pudding filled with stuffing. Okay, that's an interesting one. I haven't had Yorkshire pudding in a long time, actually. Backby, welcome to the late half of the show. But thankfully, you've missed the depressing half of the show where I was like, "Oh, you guys are amazing. You pep me up, and I get so fucking, which is good." Let's see. New. Okay. So, all right. Introducing the cooking segment on Friday with Beer. This is how I do my chips now. First of all, you get your chips, slice out your potatoes, scrub them, don't peel them, slice them, take any eyes out and all that crap. Then lightly, then you wash them. Get all that excess starch off, pull that off, rinse off the starch. Then you toss a little bit of, I use avocado oil because it's healthy for the ticker. You toss them a little bit in avocado oil. Let them stand for maybe 20 minutes to really soak it in. And then if you got an air fryer, I cook them for 10 minutes at about 370, which gets them halfway cooked. Then I bust them out, lay them on a baking tray to cool down. And then once they've cooled down, I pat them off and any excess crap. I put them in a Ziploc bag and I freeze them for a couple of days, or freeze them for however long you want. Then when you want them, you bust out a portion, drop it in the air fryer. Again, 370, 380, 10, 15 minutes. They come out so perfectly crisp. Amazing. Getting them to stay crisp because they do get soggy quite quickly once they're exposed to air. I haven't figured that one out yet. But a little bit of salt, a little bit of garlic pepper, or a little bit of truffle salt or something like that. That's the way I do my potatoes. And it is widely acknowledged. I have friends who have said that they're the best potatoes they've ever had in their lives. And so I will be the potato man. Julian Knott. Oh, yes. Ferrero Rocher of the douchiest ads ever. My God, those ads. But yes, we used to have Ferrero Rocher in the house, but then my wife loved them so much. But obviously she's celiac and they have gluten in them. So she can't have them without almost exploding. So I took the brave decision to ban them from the house. Because I'm a good husband. Let's see. Irish homemade stuffing, mashed potato, breadcrumbs, mixed spice, onions. Oh, there you go. Okay. That's a good stuffing. That's a hell of a stuffing. Couldn't do the breadcrumbs unless they're gluten-free, because we do have gluten-free bread over here. I do that. Ooh, yeah, I'm going to have to try that. Yes, fluffing them is always good. Fluffing with potatoes and with porn, essential. Well, there you go. That was a fun hour and 10 minutes. I didn't even think I would be going that long. You put me up, you wonderful people. Thank you so much. Yeah, next week is going to be the big week. Next week, when we tune in, we'll find out if these meds have started to slow down the cancer. Big week. Tomorrow, scans. Next Wednesday, the tests. Thursday, all results should be in by Thursday. So next Friday's show should be interesting. If I'm a little bit upset, I'll still be here. But yes, if you got any spare good thoughts, send them my way. Yeah. Back to the sobering stuff. Sorry about that. Sober. Okay. So I've got a question from the Discord server. And Simon, I need to send you the link to the Discord server. I will. I forgot about that. I apologize. You're a Scotchman. What's my favorite? Do I like Irish whiskey too? Well, I've made no bones about my favorite Scotch. I mean, I like a single malt. I like something on the sweeter side, sherry aged, Madeira cask kind of thing. Penderyn is my favorite, I have to say. And obviously I'm biased because that's Welsh, but I mean Macallan, I got a Macallan 18 that's just incredible. I do like a mild Irish whiskey. I am absolutely not adverse to that at all. It's just anything too peaty. I can't have that. I got a sweeter tooth. I do have a sweeter tooth. Safety is off. Thank you. I plan on making the most of every day, unless when I'm sleeping. So yes, I will be back next Friday, and hopefully I'll be standing again, and I will have lots of energy, and we can chat more. And you bring so much into my life every week. You really do. I know everybody says, well, I have such a great relationship with those people I stream with. But I do. I think you guys are just, and girls, I say, folks, you're just fantastic. You really are. And you've been a huge part of my life, and you helped get me through the pandemic, especially since I started this in January. And everybody who can't tune into the live show and watches the YouTube stream or the Twitch stream. Thank you. It really does. And reading your comments and the little bit, you take time to comment on something or chat in the chat room or just tune in. I really do appreciate it. It means so much to me right now. Yeah. So, Discord, Kingding, did I not send you your Discord link? I'm so sorry. I will get right on that, Simon. And because Kingding, you're sorry. Brain so not working. The Discord chat. So yes, sorry, my brain is, like I said, all over the place. To those of you who have subscribed via the Patreon, thank you. If you haven't had a link to the Discord, let me know. Flag me on Twitter or just send me a note through Patreon. I'll get you that right away. My brain is all over the shop, unfortunately. And if you have subscribed at the Scotch level, I owe you a Zoom chat. Let's do this. Let's have a conversation. Let's maybe not in the next week or so, but let's do it. We do it over Discord or whatever. So if I owe you something, please let me know if you're a Patreon subscriber. And obviously, if you haven't checked out the Patreon yet, have a look. A couple of different options. I've got some amazing people supporting me, and I'm so grateful because you are making a difference. And that hitherto mentioned, not wanting to leave, my wife in a shit ton of debt. This will help. I'm treating it like a savings account. So anyway, I'm getting a little hoarse. I'm gonna go, and I'm getting a little sweaty again. Actually, the joys of chemo meds. Folks, you're amazing. I love hanging out with you every week, and I'm glad I made it to this week. I am going to go, however, take my pants off, maybe jump in the shower. Be good. Have a good weekend. Enjoy your PS5s and your new guitars if you got them. I see what people do. Enjoy the international soccer break. Enjoy Shang-Chi. Enjoy Ted Lasso. Enjoy whatever you're going to enjoy. If you're in the US, happy Labor Day weekend. Spend time with your loved ones. Give them a hug. I will catch up with you this time next week, and hopefully, touch wood, I will be coming at you with some positive news. Yeah. You folks rule. Don't forget it. I am